Okay, it's the 8th of September, and we are working with linear equations. This is called standard form, this one here. And what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to find the X-intercept, the Y-intercept, and translate it into slope-intercept form. We want to be able to do those three things. Okay? So, what we have to do to find the X-intercept, if you look at the X-axis, every point on this line, if I'm right here, 1, 0, if I'm over here, 3, 0, back over here, -2, 0, they all have 0 for their y. So what if I put 0 in here? If I want to find the X-intercept, I have to plug in 0. So I'm going to write that. I'm going to say plug in 0. Let's spell it because this is just not working, right? So let's get rid of that. Maybe we can erase all those things. There we go. Then I can type it. That'll make life better, I think. There we go. So we're going to plug in 0. 0. For the y value. Can I fit it all in there? Let's see if it fits. Yay! Okay. So, now let's do it. So if 0 goes in here, 5 times 0 is nothing, right? 5 times 0 is nothing. And so I would have 2x equals 12. And if I divide by 2, x equals 6. So that means I know the X-intercept, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. X-intercept is right there, right? Now then, if I want to do the Y-intercept, I have to do the opposite thing, because here I am on the Y-axis. If I find this dot, that's -5. That's 0, -5. This would be 0, -2. This would be 0, 1, right? Everything has x equals 0. So if I want to find the Y-intercept, I have to plug 0 in for the x value. So let's write that step down right here. See if we can fit it in there. There we go. Plug in 0 for the x value. There we go. All right. So if I do that, 0 times 2 is 0. So then I'm left with 5y, equals 12. So y equals 12 divided by 5. Now, if that doesn't help you, you can always make it a decimal. 12 divided by 5 is 2.4. So if you wanted to say 2.4, we're in business. So here's 1. Let's see, 0, 1, 2, 2.4 is approximately right there. Okay? So what's the slope? Aha! Well, all I have to do to find the slope is to change it to be slope-intercept form. So let's do that. So I have to get y by itself. So let's see if I can grab that one. I don't know if I can grab it. There we go. I'll scoot that up here. I'll scoot that over here. So this part was the answer to part A. So this is how I do part A. And then this part was how I did part B. Okay. So let's change that to say B. There we go. Now I'm going to do part D, and then I can do part C. So we'll put D right here. In fact, we'll type it in there, huh? D. Right there. Okay, D. So to translate, I have to get y by itself. So I'm going to say get y, or maybe the better way would be solve for y. Solve for y. Okay? How do I do that? Well, all I have to do is move the 2x to the other side of the equation. So I am looking right here. All I have to do is move this 2x to the other side of the equation. So if I can take this guy and move it way over here, then it'll happen. You know, I'll get y by itself. So I have to solve for y. First step, subtract 2x. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 2x from this side and from this side. Now, people make mistakes all the time. They say 12 minus 2 is 10. But this is a whole number and this is an x. You can't do that. So, you subtract the 2x, these go away, and you're left with 5y equals 12 minus 2x. Well, that's great, but y's not by itself, so you have to divide by 5, divide by 5. You have to divide every single thing by 5, right? And then this is 12 divided by 5, which is 2.4. We know that already. And this is negative 2 divided by 5. That's the slope. So I just found the slope, negative 2 divided by 5. How do I know it's a slope? It's the number in front of x, right? And since I want it in slope-intercept form, right down here, I'm going to change the order here. I'm going to say y equals. Now I want to put the slope in front of the x and then put the number at the end, right? So the slope was negative 2/5 x, and then this is positive 12 divided by 5. All right, so that's the answer for slope-intercept form. Now, if you would rather have decimals, put decimals in both places. Don't mix fractions with decimals. So I'm telling you, if you want decimals, then 2/5, negative 2/5 is negative 0.4 x, and then positive 12/5 is 2.4. So if you want to write it as a decimal, that's okay. If you want to write it as a fraction, that's okay. So that's the answer to part D, and that is also the answer to part D. So I solved for y, I got it to look just like this, mx plus b. Now all that's left is graphing. So if you look at what you did, I went over 5 from this dot. Let's see. Yeah, well, we can do that. So I go over, run the flop, and then up, right there. Ooh. This is my line. Yahoo. There we go. We did it. That's what today's homework's about. Back on page 46, I think. Let's do it again just to make sure. So, here we are. We're changing standard form into slope-intercept form. That's one of the things we're doing, and we're finding the x and y intercepts. So, x-intercept plug in 0 for y. So look right here. I have -1 times y. Well, -1 times 0. Anything times 0 isn't 0. So that would be 3x equals 4. Ha! X equals 4/3. So, there we go. That's my X-intercept. And like I said before, if you really, really, really want decimals, this is a decimal that goes on and on forever. So you cannot stop at one decimal place. 1.3 is 3/10. That is not what we want. So you have to show me that you understand. You can put bar over it. That goes forever and ever. So 1.333 is right about there. So that's our X-intercept. Our Y-intercept happens when X is 0. So if X is 0, 3 times 0 would be nothing. So I would end up with -1 times y equals 4. If I divide by -1, y is -4. So it crosses the y-axis down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now then, what's the slope? Well, according to this, we have to solve for y. So that means I've got 3x minus 1y. I can write the whole thing over here. 3x minus 1y equals 4. Now remember, I need to move the x over here. Right? So I'm going to subtract. Subtract 3x. Subtract 3x. Remember, don't be that person that says 4 minus 3 is 1. That's not what we're doing. This is a whole number. This is a number that has an x. So, -1y, because this goes away and leaves that, equals, see the equal sign just stays right where it goes, and then 4 minus 3x. Well, that's great. That's -y, but I don't want to know what -y is. I want to know what y equals. So in order to get it, I have to multiply everything by -1. Multiply negative times negative, I would get y. Multiply 4 times -1, that would be -4. Multiply 3 times -1, and that would be, where did I do my stuff? -3 would be +3. There we go. And then, now I know y equals -4 plus 3x, but that's not in standard, and that's not in slope-intercept form. Usually we put the x in front. So I need it to say y equals, so I'm just going to rearrange these numbers. The negative goes with the 4, the positive goes with the 3, so I have 3x minus 4. That's the equation of this line. So, now I'm ready to graph. Over 1 up 3, boom. Over 1 up 3, 1, 2, 3, boom. Over 1 up 3, 1, 2, 3, boom. And my line goes way up like this, and way down like that. Cut up. So, like I said, that's what we're doing on today's homework. It's the number, page 46, numbers, let's see, 27 to 32. Page 46, 27 to 32. Make sure you do all of these steps. Find the X-intercept, find the Y-intercept, translate into slope-intercept form, and graph it. Thank you. And whoops, my slope here. And goodbye.